Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party. I'm Philip Gilfus, joined as always by Darren Moser and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, all good things. Something.
Oh, that would have been a great name for the episode title. All good things. Oh, wait, they already...
No, it should have been dash must come to an end.
What is all good things in Latin? That's what we need to find.
So we are here to talk about the end of Season 3 Star Trek Picard, which is, to our knowledge, the end of Star Trek Picard, ... You know, this is our first after-credit scene of a series. I'm going to throw this out here. You know, y'all are genre watchers. After-credit scene for a series finale. Has that ever happened before?
I think they do it every year, don't they? Like Discovery did it every year.
No. Series finale, as in this is the end of the series.
Finale. Okay.
To have a after-credit scene. I mean, that's...
I'm sure someone's done it. I can't imagine that Star Trek Picard is the first, but it's not a lot of coming to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying we're done, but not actually.
So anyway, we'll want to dive into it, but I guess before we do, just check in. Daniel, how is Deep Space Nine going? Still there? It's
good.
Not,
well,
orbiting
it's actually,
at a weird angle.
It's not at a weird angle. Cisco has just declared his plan to take back Deep Space Nine. So
you're not even there, Daniel. You're not even,
Quark
at the station.
Quark and Odo and Kira are still there. And Odo has been oozing with female changeling.
Yeah.
I hate that part of the story. It makes me hate Odo so much. But it's good stuff. It's really good. So it's really exciting. Lots of stuff going on, but it's good.
Yeah, I think that with Cisco, if I remember correctly, and all jumbles together, during the past couple episodes of that season, there's a point where Cisco gets, promoted is the wrong word, but promoted, not rank-wise, but job-wise, into being Admiral Ross's adjutant, which I don't actually know what that means in the 24th century.
Means he agitates him, angers him. No, that's not.
So I know what it means in modern life. Like in modern army, it'd be like your personnel officer, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's right. But anyway, I don't know what he's supposed to do for Admiral Ross. And then it doesn't stick because I think and you tell me, Daniel, 3 episodes later, he's like, hey, now we're going to retake Deep Space Nine. And I'm like, okay, that was...
Well, yeah, so he is in that position right now. Dax has been taking over patrol duties on the Defiant, so she's captaining the Defiant. And yeah, all he says is I need you to help me, plan stuff.
Is it kind of an assignment as far as a captain without a posting? Because he's a captain, but he doesn't have a ship or a station. So is that kind of where they're docking him?
He has an office. He has an office, yeah.
But Dax is kind of captaining the ship. Well, she's not a captain.
You mean science officer? Lieutenant Commander Dax has been made the battleship commander.
To quick promotions in modern Trek that I forget that some characters just never get there.
To be fair, she has 300 years worth of experience, so I feel like she's probably pretty good at it. But
she's all like this. We're gonna take this duotronic inverter and leave it right there.
Again, it's all for entertainment, but it's just those little things of yes, I'm putting my science officer in command of the battleship. Okay, all right. Darren, what about you? I know you have other series that ended.
This was an amazing week. We had the end of this season of Picard, and we also had the end of this season of The Mandalorian. In the same week, all the nerds were freaking out. It was quite intense. And that season came to an interesting conclusion. It kind of is done in its own way. I enjoyed it. I felt it kind of closed the chapter on this arc of 3 seasons, 4 if you count Book of Boba Fett. And I think we're still going to get more adventures of Mando. But I think it's going to be more episode of the week and less saving the galaxy stakes, which, is fine. It's totally fine to go back to kind of reset the risk kind of score. And something that Star Trek has difficulty doing.
But this is not the Star Wars podcast, but I'll say for Mando, which I enjoy. I'm not a Star Wars person, but I thoroughly always enjoy Mando.
It's very accessible without having to know everything about Star Wars, which is nice.
But I'll say for the season 3, I enjoyed it, but it is one of those things, I guess, unlike, say, Star Trek, which we'll get into. I wasn't counting the episodes to be like, when are they going to retake Mandalore? Like, I wasn't that invested. It was just like,
it'll happen.
It'll be episode of the week. And then I'd been thinking, like, this is the last episode, I've been like, oh, geez, they kind of really spun their wheels this season. I mean, like, in other words, if that's the goal, it really didn't happen until, like, the back 2 episodes. And so
it really, with episode 6, a lot of people were freaking because episode 6 was the Jack Black Lizzo episode. And people were like, this is precious minutes of the series, which granted, I love that. It was a lot of fun. Like, it doesn't all have to be, it's that age old argument, main plot moving forward versus world building. And you don't have to be in 2 different camps, but a lot of people were like, guys, you do realize there's only 8 episodes in this season, not 10. Like, we gotta get going. Mailer is not going to retake itself.
I guess I just never felt like the gas was pressed of like, the goal of this season is to take. I mean, like, it was there, but it wasn't like. And so, like, when I was like, oh goodness, season finale, geez, they're going to have to really wrap everything up.
Really, the goal of this season was to prepare Bo-Katan for leadership again. Is really what it was. But yes, but Star Trek. That's right. Had a little war stuck in my throat. Yes.
So, we're going to talk about the last episode, The Last Generation, which we can either think of, or you can think of as either season 3 finale. You can talk about it that way. The Star Trek Picard finale. You can talk about it that way. Or you can just talk about it as one episode and talk about it that way.
Or anyway, TNG season 8 finale. I mean, some people call it that.
10 finale, I guess. But anyway. Season G finale, I think is what we're
no. Oh, don't do it.
All right. So, Darren, you took this journey before us of Star Trek Picard, and you were telling us it was going to be awesome, and then we were like, you're an idiot. No, we're kidding. I'm kidding. But like, but now that you're at the end, what'd you think? What'd you think of The Last Generation?
Yeah, no, everybody knows this is we've set the nostalgia dials to 11. I find it's fine just to let it like kind of wash over you. But we've gotten on the Enterprise. We've set course. We also get a lot of great stuff from 7. With the Titan. I still don't quite understand if you're cloaked, that means the line of sight Borg transmission doesn't affect you, but when you uncloak, even for a moment to fire, it doesn't immediately take you over.
It's like when I turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone and then turn it back on. It takes
pairing mode. So they didn't put the Titan back into pairing mode. Okay, that makes no sense. But yes, no. Again, are there technical little flaws in the story that don't quite make sense? Sure, but
yes, is the answer to your question. Many.
But at the end of the day, we get to see Data having fun piloting the Enterprise again, sliding, and just like, I didn't know that thing could tail drift, which is awesome.
Okay. Don't get me started, Darren. Focus on the good stuff. I'll just say this very quickly. We're watching the scene of the Enterprise D doing backflips and shooting torpedoes left and right. And I had 2 thoughts. One was that, the Enterprise D steers like a cow. We all know that. I don't know how it suddenly got defiant like agility. That thing is a bus.
Of all the moments to separate the battle section and only take the battle section in, that would have been a great moment, but then we would have had to build another set, so.
And then the second one was, and again, I'm starting off negative, but like, I it's like, oh, this is cool, isn't it? I'm like, that's not actually cool about the Enterprise D. Like, I mean, like, it's about exploration. And, like, I never thought the cool part was when they were throwing weapons everywhere. I was like, but I don't know. I felt like they're trying to say, this is cool. And I'm like,
what would have been cool is they display that route, which was like, the most circuitous route to the center, to the middle. Or they could have said, Picard could have been like, well, with my experience of Borg knowledge, this is where the sphere usually docks, which might be a weak point. Let's just punch our way through and bore our way straight in and get there in half the time. And why not? The Enterprise could do that.
And then, before we get into details, but Darren, and then how did you think of how we ended? Which is very broad. They ended a bunch of ways, but how did you think of how it ended?
Yeah, I mean, we end with we're leaving the Enterprise D. Everyone's safe again. I get a lot of Star Trek 4, Star Trek 6 kind of callbacks. There was, I mean, I love when they're playing poker at the end, because again, it's like it feels like you don't want the camera to end. You don't want to call cut on the shot. So it's like they're all at the bar talking. It's like, okay, is this the last shot? No, okay, they're going to play poker. Is this the last shot? It's like, when are they done? And I mean, obviously they read my mind and were like, hey, what if they played poker on a round table and went up above it, just like All Good Things? I'm like, that's brilliant, because I honestly don't know what else you would do in this scenario of ending. I don't know what another last shot good one would be. Maybe they're playing, or they're in the conference room. Again, another set you got to build, in the Enterprise D, and they're fading out from the back window or something. But yeah, and then we get, again, it's very Lord of the Rings endings. Like, there's lots of endings. Like, you have Seven's ending. You have ... You have Jack's new position. ... I mean, I don't know if you guys had read that, the show producer was wanting more in this episode, and for budget reasons, the studio didn't give it to him. Like, he wanted, Janeway to be the one to promote Seven, and wanted, Harry Kim to have a cameo as a captain or something, and all these extra, again, shooting the moon, but it gets pared down to, what is affordable or whatever. But, yeah, and then we'll talk about the ending and naming conventions, but
oh my God.
And then, Daniel, before I get your general thoughts, I thought the part with Tuvok was odd to me, as someone who likes Voyager, and who just finished watching it. Really, it almost seemed, and I'm not saying it's any actor's fault of Jerry or Tim, but it could have been anyone. Like, it could have been Captain Smith telling Seven that. Like, I didn't feel like this is Tuvok, remember, talking to Seven. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying fan service, like, reference, like, he could have still been mad, but I'm like, this reminds me of the time, or, what would Janeway think, or, something. It just seemed like there was no, like, chemistry of, like, this is a Voyager moment. Like, this is ostensibly in this Picard Next Generation. This is a Voyager moment. There are only Voyager characters talking, and I just didn't get it that. But anyway, I just felt like,
yeah, he doesn't. There's no all of the lines that he delivers are just flat and straight, and like there's no, like you say, there's no like familiarity, and like there's not like, oh, you don't have to, I know you're reckless, but also you're great or whatever, like anything. But it was just because he was just like, no, you are promoted, goodbye. And I felt the same thing. I did get it. That was actually I guess we'll move into what that was one of the things I got emotional about, was actually Seven. I'm like, oh, good for Seven. I'm like, yay. I was super happy to see that. Makes sense. I'm not sure giving her a ship with her current ex-girlfriend is like a great idea. There's a kind of a conflict of interest there, but
I mean, Rios did it, and then he ended up staying in the past to get away. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I had to jump in on that.
No, but go ahead. Yeah. So Daniel, what'd you? I mean, there's a million places to go, but just in general, Last Generation, what did it do for you?
It was fine. It stuck the landing a bit better than I expected. Definitely better than season 1 and season 2. I still have plenty of issues with it. We'll talk about the Borg and that whole thing, and then of course the Enterprise. We'll talk about that, and of course the after credit scene 2. So it didn't exactly stick the landing, but like you said, Darren, because it had 12 chances to do it, it kind of landed most of them, and so that was fine. It was fine. It was fine. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
That was, this is going to be a dumb question, but I'm going to ask anyway. That was actually Alice Krieg?
It was, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, clearly that was not her. That was some sort of CG creation.
Yeah, I'm assuming... Well, that's a good question. If she was actually in the prosthetics or if she just did the voice.
I think that was all CG, yeah.
It was one of those things where... I mean, this is not, I will get old too, so it's not an age joke, but this is the joke we've made, like, everyone's older, and we've kind of like, oh, old guy, and okay, old Q, but like, old Locutus, now it's old Borg Queen. I'm like, okay, but like, the way that she was kind of, I'm hand quoting, messed up, like, it was kind of like forgiving to like, however Alice Krieg actually looks now.
I want to just say with the Borg looked scary for the first time in a long time. Like, decomposing Borg are terrifying. I'm like, this is actually scary looking, and the asymmetry of like the rot and the tubes everywhere. I'm just like, no, this would freak me out if this is coming around the corridor.
Okay, can we talk about the Borg then?
Sure. Let's talk about the Borg.
Okay.
Who were, by the way, the enemy the entire time.
Who'd have seen it coming? Okay, what happened at the end of Voyager? They blew up the big transwarp blah blah blahs, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because future Janeway basically put, I forget the exact thing they did, but like put a disease in her, and so that when she got assimilated at the end,
that's right,
it disconnected the Borg talking to each other, I think, or something like that.
Okay, just because she says that they were left at the edge of space. She blames okay, I don't understand what's happening with the Borg here. Okay, they're starving to death, and now she's eating them. I don't understand what's happening with the Borg here, or their motivation, or what is happening.
I think the problem, because this is a challenge to that story element that you're talking about. I had to think about like what happened, because the problem is thus: we don't know which Borg Queen this is. Now, we all agree, if we had talked for the next 30 minutes, okay, the Borg Queen, this is the Borg Queen from Voyager, which is not the Borg Queen from First Contact, even though it's played by the same person. But it doesn't matter, just there's a Borg. Okay. But then you sort of have to draw the line of like, oh, and then remember what happened in the Voyager, but people don't necessarily remember. And so like, you almost have to like, say it. You have to like previously. I mean, you have to do like more than one line, like 2 lines, like when Voyager did this, you'd be like, oh, okay. Like even if you haven't watched Voyager and you're kind of new, at least you get it. But this, you left us like who left you? When did this happen?
Yeah, because this is the Borg Queen that's connected to Picard. Obviously, that's the most connection.
Oh God, it's so problematic.
But I mean, they're all the same, right? They would all have the same knowledge. They would all have the same.
I mean, can we all establish at least there are multiple Borg Queens? Like that obviously is a must. Yeah. Because we have Girardi Queen which is dealing with like alternate time and time travel. We have First Contact Borg Queen, and we have Voyager Borg Queen,
who was played by 2 different people to make it more confusing.
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, we're going to say Voyager is one.
Yeah, I know, but
Queen.
Susanna Thomas and Alice Krieg were playing the same person.
But we're going to say it's
But you only get one at a time, right?
Right.
So there's one.
Well, and we all know, but we know that when all I'm just saying is when Alice Krieg played her, it wasn't the First Contact Borg Queen becoming. Correct. It was just we now have the budget and want Alice Krieg. So, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that, and again, I can gloss over. This isn't my I'm going to die in this hill. Like, but how would she know? I don't know. When they die, they upload their they just know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Everyone, once the queen dies, the new queen, a million light years away, just knows everything. I can buy it. Keep on going.
Yeah, that's fine. But my point is, okay, they're on a ship that clearly has transwarp still. She's acting like she's like, oh, there was no civilizations, there were no worlds for us to consume. So now what is happening? So they're starving to death. So she there's like, I don't understand like this whole thing, like this whole. They're just can't they just be Borg? I just don't understand what this desperation is, or what, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me.
And then you have to sort of you sort of have to imagine the scenario that they're asking you to believe, the scene that isn't filmed, which you could do. I mean, this is sort of like, if Star Trek was a little more commercial and had their blank together, they could do this. Like, imagine the limited comic book series and this is not what it would be called, but this is what it's about. The Changelings meet the Borg. Like, we're not going to tell you the whole story in this TV show, but like the comic series is like when the Changelings met the desiccated Borg, and this explains the story of how that makes sense and launched their plan. It's kind of like with the JJ movies, always had the countdown, or not the whatever it was called, that pre-comic that would be before each movie. Like, oh, this is how Nero was captured by the Klingons.
Kind of a preface, leading into it.
But I have to imagine, like, the Klingons just like, or the Changelings are just floating around like, hey, there's this Borg ship.
Yeah,
let's go say hi.
The Changelings and Borg working together is also really weird because, again, once Vadic dies, like, we don't talk about Changelings almost ever again. And I would have loved, like, what if the Borg, who are the ultimately calling the shot? I don't know how the power structure works, but if they help the Changelings like make their drones, because at least can we kind of agree that the faceless operating the Shriek change people aren't full on changelings? Like I only saw like 8 test tubes in that flashback. So like I'm assuming there's like 8 changelings, but there's so many guys. How are there so many? I don't know.
And again, I'm not gonna, this is not the worst offenders, but like, who was Vedic? I know we've gone over this a million times. One more time, we're gonna go over it. Who is Vedic talking to?
Has to be the Queen. Who else could it possibly be at that point?
That does make more sense. Like, it does kind of look like her now.
Are
nanoprobes in the goo?
Oh my God!
Like I said, whatever. It just seems like it's a mystery thing, because like I knew when you said, "Oh, it's the Great Link," and I could get that. There's a rebel Great Link extremist that we've already created, but like
I kind of want to watch those communication scenes again. It probably has more, especially like it's got to be the Queen, because she had that shrunken face, and one half is all messed up. Like, it looks like her. We just didn't know what she looked like until now.
Also, it just still makes no sense as to how they could communicate. But the idea of a Borg changeling team up, it bothers me a lot, and it doesn't. And
you haven't played in my basement very much, Daniel, because the Borg and changelings and the Ferengi, it doesn't matter. Everybody teams up and has lots of fun taking on the Enterprise. That's literally what happened.
And it's just like, and that they didn't stick the landing on, like the motivation, the whole sort of like, of course they did the 9th hour reveal that it was the Borg last episode. So there just wasn't enough. They just didn't explain anything. Like, even me and us with our mountains of Star Trek knowledge were like, wait a minute, what is happening here? I don't understand what's going on.
I think the 2 fixes, or two, I would say easy fixes, maybe it's not easy, is that you kind of establish, and I don't know, I'm not watching this again, but like, maybe by Vedic's second appearance in the episode, whatever episode, that you're establishing that she's talking, but you need to kind of like underline, this is a mysterious person pulling the strings, and not like, she cut off her hands, and we debated who is it, but like, I don't know how you spotlight, but just spotlight, there's a mysterious person pulling the strings, and we don't have to identify them. Drop a hint, and then that's kind of the like kind of a mystery.
Well,
and
if we do that, we get
Borg.
Future Guy.
Oh,
like that's the Future Guy problem. Then we never. But
but now it turns out to be the Borg Queen. I mean, in other words, it's episode 9 when we're like, oh, by the way, the Borg have been the enemy the whole time. You're like, what? Like, if you had sort of established, there's someone pulling the strings, and then the second thing is that when they finally go into the Borg Queen's chamber, which I guess is the last episode, maybe kind of done that earlier, but anyway, like episode 9, then you're just like changeling lieutenants. You gotta, there's 2 changeling thugs that are attached to her, and you gotta defeat them real quick, like the mini boss, basically, Daniel. And then, and not just, because the more I thought about the episode, about she's there alone and kind of disfigured. And then kind of like the way they defeat her, it's like, this was kind of easy. Like, if, you mean, like, and honestly, I don't even know why they had to like go inside. Like, they could just like blown up the Borg cube, which was not very powerful, right?
As huge as it was, yes.
Because they said, 35% operational? Yeah. I'm like, so the solution is just, or you could just go into the Queen's chamber and like, choo, 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 choo. I don't know. I mean, I know she had the little shields when Picard tried to shoot her, but I don't know.
I'm going to just bring this up really quickly because this is a good spot, and it bothered me so much. It's very minor, so it may not. Nobody else may have even noticed it, but it bothered me so much. Every time they showed the Borg cube, every single time, and it was in sequential order. It flew further and further away from Jupiter. So when they first showed it, you see all these clouds, right? Like it's in the eye, but it's shown at an angle where you can see the rest of the planet behind it, and that. So basically, the way it was shot, it looks like the cube was almost in low orbit, which is still too high, but that's fine. Whatever, it's a choice. The next shot that they show, it's further up. And the clouds are just they're literally in orbit. They're in space. And then when it blows up, it's not anywhere. There's no clouds. It just explodes in the middle of space, open space, and it's just the end. It just bothered me so much. It's just like it's not moving. It's supposed to just be in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry. It just bothered me.
And again, I'm not an expert, and again, I've just thought of this, but like Jupiter, I mean, the physics are going to have some problems there because Jupiter. I mean, I'm not an expert. Jumping Darren. Jupiter is so big, the gravitational portion, like, there's no way the Borg ship could be that close. Like, it gets crushed. That's what happens to, I would assume, but I don't know.
Well,
it would need a lot of power to stay that close. Like, you're in atmosphere. It's not even high orbit. It's like you're in the clouds. That's like low orbit.
Yeah, okay. Anything more about the Borg? Again, the enemy the whole time.
No. Jean-Luc gets reassimilated for a second.
And we finally see what it's like inside the collective.
Which is very cool. Like everyone's green. Cool.
Yeah.
Very chill, yeah.
Yeah. Never want to leave, which makes sense, I guess. Well, this kind of bleeds into Jack, but it's still Borg, so I'll talk about it. It makes me laugh, and it's fine. It's fine. It just makes me laugh that, like, the way to defeat the Borg, you just got to believe enough. I'm like, I don't know if that's how assimilation works. Jack was just like, I believe in it. Duh, I'm not assimilated anymore. I'm like, okay. I'm not sure I'm buying that, but okay. And then the second part is they did, Danny, you were saying how the Borg will look scary, and I agree. I thought the production design was very good. Definitely felt First Contact vibes. But the Jack, who's kind of doing the TNG callback Borg suit, which is not, I don't have a problem, but like the more I thought about, like, it looks like he put a suit on. Like, in other words, like, it's not like he was assimilated. Like, Beverly's not like, right after they rescue him, like, removing components. It's like, oh, zip.
I don't think I'm not sure if you've noticed, Philip, but they take the concept of assimilation pretty loosely in Picard season 3. So,
because First Contact, Picard was shooting people left and right, like, too late, Ensign Lynch.
But he's my boy.
Oh, and also, and I'm gonna have to sit and think of an answer. I always hate to critique unless I have an answer, but like when the beacon gets to exploded, and it takes like a second for the bad guys to stop. But like the assimilated kids just like shoot normal. I'm like, okay, I could get that they just stop acting like Borg, but I just feel like they should still have the makeup. Like, we're good.
But didn't it didn't happen though, because didn't they? What was it? There was the do the last directive. Was that what the ships were told and not the people? Because that was kind of unique in the fact that, like, once they destroyed it, like, it didn't stop. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, well, like, because as I remember, like, the beacon explodes and the Borg ship explodes. It does take like a second because, like, we're about in there, coming to the Titan bridge, and then they all go clear skin, and I'm like, okay.
Also, what was the plan here? They were going to just shoot all the cities? Again, the Borg plan makes no sense. The Borg wouldn't do that. If there's a whole planet there to assimilate, why don't you just take it over?
Because the Borg Queen does talk about it in her villain monologue, which is fine to have a villain monologue. But, like, she's like, it is hard to, like, I have to watch again, and I'm not going to. She's like, oh, we just don't assimilate. We also want to annihilate. And I'm like, okay.
Well, and they're changing their assimilation plan from the far superior Borg plan of changing you into us to the Trade Federation battle droid. If you just destroy the control ship, everybody goes back to normal. Far less superior plan.
Yeah. She says, and this is the second time this series has said this, but she said the Borg needed to evolve. And again, Star Trek not really knowing what that is, but that's okay. It's fine. Whatever. And there's no more Borg, right? We're done with Borg forever? We'll never see them again?
No, we can't say never.
Okay.
I mean, we can hope, but... and last question, this is Borg related, and then we'll talk to actual major characters. So everyone died who died, right? I mean, I just felt like, you know,
no, they haven't, Philip, because according to the showrunners, he said, well, we didn't actually see, what's her name? Admiral Shelby die. She's just hurt.
She was shot twice in the chest. Are you kidding?
I mean, if I remember, it was like, I don't know, this is an audio medium, like it was the shoulder, right? It's like choo.
Okay.
Now, it could have been, but
he is saying he's not counting out her never returning. I don't know. It doesn't.
But he's the guy that made the shot where they shot her. That's so infuriating. You can't have that both ways. You can't have that dramatic moment and then be like, oh, she was totally fine.
I was also unclear in episode 9 and this one. I mean, this is always the problem when you're fighting. I mean, this is why, Mandalorian puts everyone in a mask. So you're like, they get killed. Who cares? But like we saw Starfleet people, both the assimilated and the assimilees. I don't know. Choo. I'm like, are we on stun? Are we on, like, we're not establishing what's happening. I mean, we were vaporizing people a couple episodes ago, which is very clear what was happening there. But, like, I don't know. I'm just like,
I assume all those people are dead. Like, half the people on those ships are dead.
And most of the people that are dead are older than 25 and have the vast experience. So now your fleet, honestly, it kind of makes sense that the Federation falls, like, based on what we see in Discovery now. Like, this event kind of like is massively destabilizing because not only do you have the loss of some ships, but you have the loss of basically all senior management of Starfleet in general. Yeah. That's why you don't bring all your ships.
It's why first-year cadets are made an ensign in 6 months.
And that's also why...
we'll get to the ending later.
They should just give Rafi her own ship then, because she has command experience and she's of that age. You would think they would be like handing those out pretty handily at that point. But whatever.
But by the way, 2 things about Space Dock. We don't... I mean, not that I want to. We don't see it destroyed, but it's like dialogue destroyed, right? Yeah. Like... But I mean, like, why not just show it?
It's disabled at that point.
We see it blow up. We see it.
Do we? I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we see pieces at the end, which you're supposed to, I think, infer.
Okay. I mean,
but there is no like.
Yeah, I think it's destroyed or heavily damaged. At least it takes a year to rebuild because it's 1 year later.
Well, I mean, the dialogue seems to be like halfway through the episode. Oh, they've destroyed, but I'm like. It's odd that you didn't show it. I mean, like, of all the... Because, again, I don't want to see people die. But, like, of all the visual effects, like, that's one where, like, oh, no. So, like, a dialogue line of, like, they it's kind of... Anyway. But
look, over there, Probert Station is breaking apart. Oh, it's so traumatic.
But my second thing about Space Dock is, before it gets destroyed, whoa, those defenses. I mean, it takes on the entire Starfleet for a good 30 minutes. Full just phasers and choo. And it's like, boo, 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 boo.
I mean, again, it comes down to...
plot armor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have basic rules and understandings in a universe, and it's like, this is about how much damage a starship can do, and this is about how much... and then when you just kind of ignore all that for the sake of your story, it just doesn't feel real. It's like, do I believe all of those ships couldn't, like, And now I don't know if it's supposed to be like attached to Earth's armor in defense. I don't know. I don't understand that either.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's the shot. When they say, we took it out, I don't think they say the word destroy because you actually see like some explosions and then it kind of like drifts away a little bit.
Right.
But it's still intact. So, and then when that happens,
then they can shoot at Earth. Yeah.
All of the shields, you see them. They actually go down on Earth. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why would Earth's shield be dependent on space dock instead of generated from the core or something like that, like from reactors on the planet so that they can stay protected no matter what happens to space dock?
Admiral Cartwright made the ultimate planetary reserve initiative after the events of Star Trek IV. They built so many batteries in that planet you won't even believe.
Well, see, as I understand Star Wars, only an idiot would put the shield generator on the planet. What they decided is you put the shield generator on the space dock to the planet. That's thinking, huh?
Oh, man. And there are several times in this episode, and I know I'm sure you would have loved it, Philip, when, especially I think Beverly says it, somebody else says it too. If Earth falls, the whole galaxy falls. So, guys, this is
human.
Galactic.
You can only hear yourselves.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make sense. I mean, granted, I think what she's implying is if Earth falls, which is probably the last best chance to stop the Borgified fleet, but if that fails, now your Borgified super fleet is going to just start picking off planets one by one and be practically unstoppable because only Earth could stop them.
Only Earth.
Yeah, that's because
Klingons are pushing.
It's a surprise attack. I mean, like it's like, if Pearl Harbor dies, then we'll never be. I mean, or there's other places, and we can all bound together. And then I know. Okay. Yeah, it was silly. Well, let's go into the good guys, hand quotes. Let's do non-main TNG first. Jack Crusher. What did we think of?
I can count those on one hand, but yeah.
Well, you say that. There's a few. But anyway, so let's go with Jack Crusher. Darren, how do you do this episode and how he ended up? Are you?
I mean, I still don't quite get the whole, like, I'm just going to go there and shoot my own phaser and then self-assimilate. But all that aside, I thought he looked good as Vox. Like, his assimilated form was kind of cool. Had a lot of Locutus vibes to it, obviously on purpose. But, and yeah, I mean, honestly, like, that was a cool moment of him and Picard, like, as kind of father and son for the first time, really, like, in the collective discussion. I mean, granted, there could have been a little levity of like, well, if we're going to have this discussion, at least it's inside the collective in a Borg cube. Like, we can't be like normal people. But, and I did like his assignment as special counselor, the same rank that Naomi Wildman was given on Voyager. So it's kind of another Voyager nod. It's just kind of like, I'm tolerating you here on the bridge. But I mean, but that was it really for Jack. Like, he didn't really, a lot of stuff happened to Jack. He didn't really choose a lot of things.
Because he's ostensibly, I'm not going to say the main character of the season, but sort of the main driving element of the season. I mean, Beverly starts the season, but it's Jack.
Character that a lot of the most stuff happens to. Doesn't mean his choices drive the story, but
yeah, and I think, and again, there's nothing to do about this, but again, there's the scene, like, as you say, it's supposed to be very heartfelt, and I'm not saying it's not, but like with Picard and Jack, it's like, Picard or Jean-Luc's telling to Jack, you've changed my life. I'm like, it's been like 2 weeks. I know. I mean, like, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to degenerate his newly found fatherhood, but I'm like, you could change my life, I think, is maybe where I go. But yeah, it's just like, you got just mad. I can get that that's a new thing, but I think there's a way to phrase that. Again, it reminds me of like Geordi telling Data, having you back made me a better father. I'm like, it's been an hour. But anyway, it was a powerful moment. I just didn't feel, but I got that what they were going for. So, And then the ending, you know me, I hate the stupid, like, oh, now you're an ensign because reasons, and because we don't want to go through the whole 4 years of Starfleet Academy, because that's uninteresting. So you're automatically an ensign, and now you're counselor to the captain, because, I don't know, we want you
I
on the
mean,
bridge.
you know, it's nepotism, right? His parents are both admirals, so I think they could be like, put him on a ship, I guess.
You know,
What
and
was
make him an ensign.
Jack's Kobayashi Maru test? I'm kind of curious. Or do you get to skip that part?
Now, you know what I would have loved, and I got too much time. You can't make this joke because there's too much time, and you're trying to made Jack an acting ensign. Picard's like, I know. No way to go. Do I have to wear the sweater? You have to wear the sweater.
Well, again, I think they would have done that if Picard was on the ship, but I think obviously what they chose was more of the Voyager, the exact same joke, but just in a Voyager shell.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to have trauma from this? Are all those people who shot and killed their colleagues going to have trauma from this as well?
Look, we got to staff up the counseling division of Starfleet.
Well, I mean, like literally,
We're all over 25 and have been wiped out, so we got to start over. But
I mean, literally, this season is a result of Picard's trauma from being Borgified. 30 years ago. That's what this whole thing is about. So if it was so traumatic and such a huge deal, is Jack now going to be screwed up? I mean, he was already kind of screwed up.
that's true. And I mean, all of the remote assimilated, like, yeah, you were remote, but and then forced to kill like your friends and colleagues. Like that's got
How many people are coming up to Jack at a bar saying, "You killed my"?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy, it's bright, cheery season, by the way. Let's.
We put carpet back in, Philip. Isn't that what you asked for? You gave me what you want, so you should be happy.
All right, let's do, because there's not a lot for her. Raffi. Daniel, what'd you think about Raffi?
I really, really
Raffi
liked.
was in this season. Sorry.
I know she was not much, but I really, really liked the scene between her and Worf at the end. I thought it was very sweet, and she was looking at a pad with a stock image of a kid on it, and she got to reconcile with her son, which is fine, which is great. So I think, yeah,
Don't forget this thread, viewers. Oh, that's right. Okay, good time.
Remember episode 2?
Yeah, 3 seasons ago. Okay.
Yeah. So for as much as that's just not like a lot there, I really just thought the scene with her and Worf was sweet, and Worf was a good guy to help her out. So.
Could I ask for some clarification? Because I don't think I heard it. I mean, I gleaned it, but like, is what happened that it was leaked that Raffi was part of this operation that saved Earth?
Yes.
Like I couldn't hear what was literally.
I think what's
leaked.
implied is Worf, somebody, aka Worf, leaked basically her entire dossier of the entire time she had been working for Starfleet Intelligence and all of the amazing missions and good things she's done that she hasn't been able to talk about. So not just this mission, but like basically saying your mom is amazing, but she just couldn't talk about anything. And so your impression of her was the last thing you knew, which was, an addict recovering, washout.
Yeah.
But again, I know I'm doing it. But wasn't the problem not that she's not awesome? It's the problem that she chooses Starfleet over her family.
Yeah, that is the problem.
And so, like, that doesn't cure
but
that
for good
problem.
reason.
Yeah, maybe it's just
But
like
they don't
this.
care. I mean, like, I mean...
But enough good reasons thrown down your face, and,
Because ostensibly, like, I felt like what we saw from Gabe, I think that's the child's name, in season 1, and then the ex-husband in episode 2 of this season... Like, it seemed like you're choosing Starfleet or you're choosing us. Or you're like, it was like, you could be like, yeah, I'm doing God's work in Starfleet. Like, we don't care. We want you at home. And I'm like, that seemed to be what the choice was, or the conflict was. And that's why it's like, and it's all cured because she was awesome. I'm like, I don't think that was the conflict.
Yeah, but being super awesome, even more awesome than yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Worf was really good at helping Raffi reconcile with her family. I was thinking, what about Worf's family? But we're not gonna.
Daniel, Worf doesn't
We're
have
not
a
gonna
family. It is not mentioned at all. So.
Well, no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. Anyway.
Also find it. I mean, I'm throwing this out there. I find it hard to believe Worf's still single.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Cool guy
I
like
think
him.
he would. He seems pretty settled into himself at this point, so I feel like he probably would have a wife or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, or girlfriend dating.
Or I could see Martok's wife like setting him up all the time. Like she's like, "You are such a catch, Worf. Here, come see," some Klingon name. I can't.
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Is that it besides non-TNG people? I feel like I mean, other like people's kids, but they got 5 seconds. So, all right. Well, let's go through the TNG crew. I got them here on my bridge set here, so I'm gonna go from the. I'm gonna go around here. So let's start at the top. Let's do Worf. Worf. Yes. Anything other than
he had a lot of adventuring. He needs a good nap.
Yeah.
He was sleepy. He snored. So
I liked the phaser inside the sword bit. Also, the sword being really heavy and Riker being like, "Crap, this thing is heavy." It's like Worf's the most physical fit of everybody, like in this age. But
it's just interesting. We talked a lot about this exact scenario. Like, first of all, props to these people for not killing anybody off.
yes,
Very happy about that.
I was holding my breath a little bit there.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I mean, I predicted Picard would end with Picard dying. So I was wrong. Yeah.
Like I didn't want it, but I was like, "Is this about to happen?" But
So
is Megatron about to get a final blow against Optimus Prime, and he's going to die in front of me again?
So, but like Worf is an interesting case because now we actually did get a little bit more of him, like his day job, working for intelligence and all that sort of stuff. But he doesn't really have an arc. Nothing, he doesn't learn anything or grow or change or anything like that. He is. And I really liked the state of Worf throughout the show. And he definitely had the best jokes, I think. But I don't.
His growing was previous to the season, previous to us seeing him, which is fine. Again,
In the comic series.
we don't got time to show 7 people's growth over one show or one season. But I liked where Worf was. He's the reliable friend.
Yeah. And I guess I go both ways. One, because in the TNG movies, and not necessarily in the series, but a little bit, he's predominantly the humor. So he gets a little beat up that way, like he's more than that. And then Deep Space Nine, you would say, well, we finally got him to have some character and not just being the butt of the joke. And then he's the butt of the joke. But he's telling the joke, so that helps a little bit. I think the 3-way doesn't work for me as a joke. It's too Lower Decks to me. I feel like that's like
weird.
Jonathan Frakes said that line. I'm like, we're going to keep that one. But like, that's not really a Riker Worf line. It's too 21st century. Anyway, especially Riker. I'm sure. Anyway. Okay. And so, Worf's cool. Full stop. But not much else to say that
he gets to beat things up. At least he doesn't just get beat up here. He does. He'd kick some Borg butt and stuff and chop some guy's head off or whatever.
I did have to, again, I have to laugh. Like when the two Borg were coming after Riker and Worf. Any Borg that we've seen, in the past, God, I don't know how long it's been now, 20 years, 15 years? They're normal people. But the two Borg that are coming from them are like the NFL linebacker of Borg. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, geez, they're normally much smaller than this.
It's like a Borg that's actually taller than Worf. Oh my gosh.
Like Riker's like, they're much easier to deal with usually. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah. And we don't know where Worf's coda is. Like we don't know what is Worf doing now? Just back to the Intel life.
Back to intelligence, I guess.
Yeah. That would have been nice to have a little bit of I'm off or something. All right.
It sure would.
Beverly Crusher. Daniel, what do we think of Beverly this episode?
What, Admiral of Starfleet Medical again?
Yep, head of Starfleet Medical. So it's now official. But obviously a lot of her role was just Jack centric. Do you think that what's Picard gonna do now? What's gonna happen when he goes back?
Loris, wait! I'm coming to the transporter. Jeez, no, Loris, we're never gonna see ever again.
No. But Beverly,
and Loris's shuttle on its way to whatever, just tragically attacked by pirates and removed from the board.
Oh no! I am happy that she got to be head of Starfleet Medical and also have a son again, even though The other one was just around, but good for Beverly.
I mean, she got to fire some torpedoes.
It's been 20 years, so she learned a lot.
Yeah. I felt like the series has had a tone. I felt like the past 2 episodes have had a different tone. I'm not complaining per se, but it is a little Enterprise season 4-y. Like, they leaned into it. I'm like, maybe you overindulged because, like, everyone turns to Beverly. I'm like, okay, guy, it's funny, but, like, I feel like we're losing the tone of the series here a little bit.
You mean when she was a commander on the Enterprise D and, like, one of the only other commander on the ship?
Yeah, I mean, like, she was in command. Anyway, I don't know. So, okay, yeah, Beverly. Yeah, again, not a lot for her to do. I mean, they did give her it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I mean, she was there doing sciencey stuff at the science station and torpedoes at the tactical station. She did have things to do. They didn't forget about it totally.
True.
But as far as any... And also, like, I don't know. It just seems like the coda seems very, like, fanficky of, like, and she came back to Starfleet and was made an admiral. Like, she left as a commander, right? Or, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. She could have been made captain for all we know before she disappeared and had Jack. But it just seems like a little like...
Is All Good Things future Beverly better off than Picard Beverly?
Ooh, good question.
I know, Captain Picard versus Admiral Crusher, which is better.
Yeah. And not the Picard you were thinking of.
I know.
Well, she doesn't have Jack, so her life is probably better off. I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little sad for Beverly because she had the well, I felt like she promised where she started off this season, but then they froze her. I mean, getting better in her in Boba Fett's tank for like 2 episodes, but like I saw they kind of lost that momentum I think they could have had with her. All right, moving on. Let's go to Mr. Data. What do y'all? I mean, I don't know. Darren, go ahead. What do you think of?
No, I
Data?
I think it's fun. Brent gets to play Data a little differently. You know, it's a different kind of character. You know, I kind of wanted him to be a little more like all over his console, like in a sped up Data way. But again, what we got was fine, but I was like the complex maneuvers we were doing, you know, I kind of was expecting. I understand it's visually more interesting than like plugging in Data, and which would have made sense for like the crazy stuff they were doing. But then it's just like I'm twitching my head, and that means that a lot of computations are happening. Like that's not interesting to see. So I get using the console makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I would have. You know, I mean, I would love to send like a top-down shot of him, and he's using the console in like that slightly sped-up mode, and we see him even use the itty-bitty console that's like on the pillar. Like he's even using that one, and I think that would have been, you know, yeah. And then you pan back and you get Troy's. You know, I'm sensing like enjoyment, but yeah, give us a little bit of like sped-up, fast-finger Data. I think. Again, not that I didn't buy it how they presented it, but I would have bought it a little even more that the Enterprise was doing these amazing maneuvers because, yeah, Data is the only one who really could pull that off.
And Dana, what do you think of Mr. Data?
He's fine. It's fine. I would have liked it to, like with everything that Brent does, probably dialed back a little bit, just like a little bit, you know, like take it down just a notch. A little more Data, just a little bit, but you know, it's fine. He got to have his fun and make his goofy smile, and that scene with him and Troy,
still batshit crazy.
And you know, this is fine. It is fine. It's not offensive. It's fine. It's because what are you going to do? Like we talked about, how do you bring Brent back into it? How do you bring Data back into it? What they did works, and we get to see a different kind of Data, so it's fine.
I mean, I would have taken this over. Oh, Brent said he's not playing Data anymore. We're just not having him in this season. Like, no, right. I wouldn't have wanted that.
I mean, that's, you know, yeah.
We're not going to Captain Sulu him in the front of the final shot and be like, "Well, you said you were done, Brent. Sorry."
Yeah, it just again, and this is me, and I'm sure no one cares. It just seemed overindulgent. I'm not because I'm just watching Brent Because I guess to me, the character would have been more interesting had it been not Data. Like, in other words, how they established it. Oh, this is Data with a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of that. He's a lot of Data, but he's not everything. And so, like, you can create a unique character that is still Data-esque. I was like, I almost wish they had a new name for him. Like, because it's, I don't know. Because I mean, it is the whole sort of like kill Spock and you bring Spock back. Didn't mean anything. And so, like, we killed Data, which we all didn't like. So, I mean, but then we killed him again. So then they
killed him again.
Which we were then fine with because that seemed to fix it. And then they brought him back again. And it's like, okay, it's just Brent pretending to be Data. Like, it's just like us. Hey, let's pretend to all be the TNG character. And so, yeah. Because, all right, well, then he doesn't actually have a coda either. So what does he do now?
Yeah, who knows? What is Data doing? That's an interesting question because of all the people, like he's got the most, I guess, to explore, right? But I don't know what he does or where he goes. He doesn't have any other friends. I don't know.
Yeah. He's gonna work nights at Guinan's bar.
I mean,
understanding the human condition.
What they could have done, but they didn't because, again, you'd have to require them to remember other seasons exist, is that 5 seconds talking to what's-her-face, like on a screen.
Who's what's-her-face?
The daughter.
Soji?
Yes.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. No. No, thank you.
Her contract's expired. We don't talk to her.
I would like to never go back to that planet, please.
Well, no, she's on the Goodwill tour, or at least she was at the season 2, if you remember. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, because that would have at least give him a connection outside, and then now he's going to go chill with her.
Or some connection with like synth rights, like the Doctor. Like when the Doctor got involved with holographic rights, that was really interesting because he had his big personal stake, and I feel like Data's kind of not that ambassador anymore. But
yeah. So anyway, I mean, because I felt like, and again, this may be a larger the coda. I mean, there wasn't really a coda, as you said, it's several endings, but like, I feel like instead of them just drinking at the poker table for 15 minutes, it seems like at least do like 10 minutes with everyone, or 15 minutes, or not that long, you know what I'm saying? But like a scene with everyone. Like, this is where they're going, And I mean, you can still do the poker scene at the end, but like, we're at the bar, what are you up to? What are you up to? I mean, it's just kind of boring,
I get,
but there's a way to do it.
I get that desire, but I also know why they don't, because in television, you never want to lock in where your characters are going. That doesn't allow the next person who tells that story any flexibility. It's much better to leave it ambiguous.
You mean like Q showing up?
Well, that's their own. That's their own fault.
Well, all right. So moving on, we're going to ignore that for a second. All right, what do we got? Commodore LaForge. Daniel, where do we leave?
I'm still mad we don't know who.
Mrs. Commodore LaForge.
Yes, it bothers me like tremendously. Like,
that's a good point.
There's no line. There's nothing about.
We know she's alive because he says,
and I don't want to
tell your mom's going to be unhappy that we're not home for dinner.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to get into this because I'm going to get into trouble.
Jordy,
if I go too far.
you're playing in your Starbase again.
But, and I may have said this before, so I apologize for repeating myself. But I know biology could change in the 25th century, but Mika, his actual daughter, I mean, I know what LeVar's wife looks like. She is an African-American woman. So even though Mike is very light-skinned, African-American. So I'm like, he did not marry Leah because his other daughter is definitely very dark-skinned. Again, I'm not going to get into this too far, but I'm just saying it's not Leah. I mean, genetically, he married a black woman, which is fine. But I'm just like, okay, so then everyone's like, oh, it's not her. I'm telling you, it's not her. So, but it's cool. So, I mean, it would just be nice to know.
Yeah, like a name. Yeah, like a picture or an maybe like a voiceover, like when he's communicating. Hey, our daughters are safe. One of them's a murderer now, but that's the Borg's fault. So, but everybody's alive, And
I mean,
and then,
what does Memory Alpha have for the century? Parents of Sylvia, whatever her name is.
Oh, that's right. Maybe it is on Memory Alpha. Or maybe he tweeted about it. But anyways, Geordi's fine. Geordi,
back to the museum.
Yeah, back to his day job, right? So
he's like, Geordi's log, that was a crazy couple of days. I was just sitting here running my museum, And then Picard and Riker show up. I gotta get the Enterprise D ready really fast. The paint was still wet.
You know, this old Sovereign class just came in. I wonder if I could.
We're apparently just renaming everything.
The Enterprise E memorial. It's this one box of space dust. It's all that's left of the ones.
Yeah, that'll be our next episode. What happened to Enterprise? Yeah. So again, not a lot for LaForge. I mean, again, he played parent like Beverly did, basically. So didn't really get a lot out of him.
Nope.
I mean, he had some engineering moments, I think, in this episode, but yeah. So at some point, I'm trying to remember. There was someone. I thought it was interesting, and I don't have a problem with it that Picard gave him and not Data command, because I mean, Data's just this new thing. Commodore LaForge would be the ranking officer if we're still pretending that this matters. So like, I thought that was cool. Though it did leave like a spot open. Like, who's flying the ship? I don't know. Data'll just do everything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it totally makes sense that he's in charge, because Data's not really a person right now. Like, we don't know like what he remembers.
Whoa, Darren coming out strong about it.
Oh yeah, talk about them rights again, Darren. Jeez.
It's like, look, he's one person. How can you quantify that as? Oh, never mind. We already did that.
All right. Yeah, unless you have anything else, jump in. Let's do Counselor Troy.
Where is the kid? They don't even mention her. They don't even mention her about their vacation plans. They
Kestra.
I don't understand.
All expenses paid from the future with no money. But yes, I don't know. Okay, I feel like we already talked about this, but it still doesn't make sense. I don't understand the timeline. When did Dad die? Because I swear it was like a while ago. And then all of a sudden in season 3, it feels like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? Like when we met Riker and Troy on, what was it? Nepenthe? Yeah. When we met him there, Pizza Planet. It felt like it had been like at least a couple months, maybe a year. Like
it had been, I felt like a couple years, like 3 years.
Yeah, it felt like it had been a while, honestly, or even longer. It kind of I'm trying to remember. Kestra knew that, right? Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't like they had her after he was born. Okay. So it's been a couple years, but then all of a sudden in season 3, Riker's like, well, when I lost that, I just started distancing myself. It's like, but that was years ago, Riker. It feels like it was like a month ago or a week ago.
And he was very much well-adjusted making pizzas for everybody. Like,
it felt like a rewriting of the timing. And then again, no Kestra at all. No. Like, was Kestra at summer camp? And then she's like, Mom, I'm home. And she's like, oh, boy, we're really glad you weren't here because your mom got kidnapped and I had to break her out of changing jail. It's like, what crazy adventure are you guys going on again?
Like the way, and I'm not saying this is the case.
And by the way, we're going on a cruise. See ya.
It almost makes me think the way that they're doing this, like there's some copyright issue with whoever the writer that wrote that episode, because
is this a Nick Locarno situation?
I think, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They actually never say Thad. They say dead son.
Yeah,
it's true
every time.
I think,
and they never say Kestra.
They don't mention either of the kids. That is kind of weird.
And like I know we talked about this before, but like I had read on Twitter, whatever, that Tara's like, oh, we had to cut a line about Kestra was on a Starfleet Academy, blah 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 on Earth, and she was fine. Okay, fine if that's what happened in episode 7, 8, 9. That's fine.
Or if you put
at
it on
the
Earth,
end, you can't do that. You have to have a line at the end.
Well. But, and actually I would say even more so, because if you had a line earlier that she is like studying at Starfleet Academy on Earth, hey, guess what planet is about to be destroyed? And now the stakes are even greater. But no.
Because even if you get to the heart of the characters, if you want to have these emotional moments, and we do, because we care, and the storytellers seem to care about having these emotional, melodramatic moments. When Riker's about to die, and he's like, oh, Imzadi, oh, well, about the daughter. Who cares?
Yeah.
All I care about is my wife at this time. I'm like,
They're going on their second honeymoon. They're just going to act like they have no kids.
See, it would have been great if they just one offline where instead of what he proposed, she's visiting her grandma on Beta Set. And then you get a little callback.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, see?
Grandma. Aw. I'm just
then,
picturing Luxanne as a grandma now, and I'm kind of terrified.
Oh, she'd be great.
what's her grandma name?
Oh, good question.
Oh, it'd be some like Betazoid.
Luxana.
Do you think she
it's
added
the whole thing. Daughter of the fifth house.
grandmother to
Grandmother to Kestra. It's just even longer. Oh my gosh, it'd be so funny.
But to answer your question, Philip, Troy was fine. She got to do some. She did some counseling, some actual counseling,
Some empathing.
She did some empathing. She helped discover where everybody was. Like she was on her station in the bridge and doing important things. So
Sorry, I just had a funny idea. If I love the fact that Troy, like, having that strong connection, which was established with Riker. I mean, it's been established for like decades. Caused her to know where he was. But I would have laughed if they had done like a switch where she's like, wait, I know where they are. I'm like, yes, Troy. And then she's like, beep, beep, beep. I slipped an iridium patch on him before he beamed out. They're right here. And then you get the Star Trek callback. And because we totally think it's just her empathic ability, she's like, what? Like, I can't sense him like through an entire Borg cube, but I'm not that dumb. I told him I'm never letting him out of my sight again.
That would have been funny.
I think that would have been, yes, a little meta, but it would have been hilarious.
Oh, they were already going meta. It's not going to kill this
That's
show.
true. That's true.
Or this episode.
He's like, I dipped his entire uniform in this iridium substance. He's showing up like a beacon in space. I know exactly where he is. You gave your husband radioactive jewelry? I mean,
am I not mistaken that she did take the helm eventually? Because I just remember watching that Last Generation. I'm like, once LaForge takes command and that vacates the spot, I'm like, guys, put her there.
I can't
Put
remember.
her there. And like they didn't. I was like, guys, this is how you save this thing that's out there. And then I feel like she eventually did, but like it was way too late, or it was much later than I thought they would have. And I forget. Or was it just they were leaving? Or I don't know. Because I felt like she eventually did take the con, but I couldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up in my head. But I was just like waiting for them to do it for so long. Like, she's right. Just put her over there. But anyway. What's she doing? I mean, she was just helping Data as a friend.
She's going on vacation. Didn't you hear?
No, I mean, like, is she still a counselor? Like, who does she work for? Like, she an independent? You know what I'm saying? Is she just a counselor? Where were they?
She was a stay-at-home mom for their kids that don't exist anymore, so now she can do whatever she wants, I guess.
Like, but where was that counseling session?
That was on the Titan.
Why is she on the Titan?
I don't know. Oh, maybe it wasn't the Titan. I guess those interior corridors look all alike. It could have been Space Dock or whatever.
There is no Titan, only Enterprise.
Okay, we're going. Hold on. All right, so we just have Riker and Picard left, right? I think, right? All right, so let's go with Captain Riker, who we've kind of already talked about. But
Riker's going on a cruise or a vacation somewhere. Wherever Picard goes, Riker's going. We've already established, like, they're going to be buddy-buddy. You're going to get matching offices right next to each other on the hall. Or
they didn't really wrap up his story. I mean, in as much as he had one. It wasn't like, oh... I mean, I'm not saying you should get over it.
I thought you were picking up Kestra from Dick. I thought you were picking up
Darren,
Kestra.
I'm sure you can tell that happens. There's always sometimes the handoffs are not always perfect. But just like there's no like, and I don't know how you encapsulate of like grief, because not a fun topic, but you can play it in a good way. But it didn't really land like, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm over my dead son. You don't have to do that. But sort of a like, oh, I've realized that I don't know, but they didn't do it, whatever it was. So I don't know. Not a lot. No arc for Captain Riker.
Nope.
It also threw me off the Data.
Still a captain, not an admiral. We're never pulling out that chair for you.
Just the Data kept calling him commander and Jean-Luc captain. Like, I get it, but like, again, they're not. And anyway, all right. Well, the man himself. So nice they named the series after him, Jean-Luc Picard. Daniel, what'd you think of 3 seasons and a wrap up? And
yeah, it's fine. I think, it was a happy ending ish. Got his son back. He had to get reborgified, but whatever. He had to get a robot body. Whatever. It's fine. Man, it's tough to say. Like, because what does he do now? Does he just like? Because he was
still have a
retired.
girlfriend.
Does he still have a girlfriend? Or what's going on? Or is he going to stick with his baby mama? I don't know. I don't know what his plans are.
I mean, it's not funny because I'm sure this has happened in real life where you find that you have an adult child. Surprise. But like, they have their own life. Like, it's not like, oh, let's spend a bunch of time. Like, no, he's an ensign on board the ship. I'm not calling it that. Aboard the ship. We'll get into it. But anyway, so it's like, bye, Dad. I'll catch you in the subspace. Like, okay. No more, no quality time on the Christmas.
Well, at that point, they'd spent a year together. So
that's true, I guess.
Or part of a year anyways. But
okay, this is a stupid thing, but I'll bring it up. When Picard assimilated himself, he's an android. Okay, I don't know how you do this. He is an android. He's not a person.
I kind of forgot he was an android.
And so did they. Don't worry. Because as first contact, again, push up my glasses. As first contact established, you can't assimilate an android because that's why they couldn't assimilate Data, right? Or did I just make that up? And even like, I think it was like Descent or Borg. It's some Borg episode. Oh, we can't assimilate you, so we either destroy you or convert you. But anyway, I don't know. Picard just shoves the thing, automatically assimilated because he's an android. But anyway, I just
again, they can assimilate how and who they want, regardless of mechanism or anything. These are very scary Borg. They just can just look at you sideways and there you are.
All right, Darren, how did Picard go in The Last Generation?
I mean, I guess I like the fact that once Picard knew he was his son, like once he knew that Jack was his son, like it changed. Like all of a sudden he's making decisions based off of that. Like he's really connecting with Beverly. Like honestly, it really kind of reinforces like Beverly, you kind of should have told this man. But like, so I think he's totally with Beverly. Like he is never leaving her side again. He is like, this is our family now. Like he's that kind of person that he's like, that switch has been flipped and like that is my responsibility. And I think, now, I'll transition this into the topic that shall not be named because honestly, there's a part of me that kind of felt if they're going to do some renaming, they should have called it the USS Picard.
That's the name of the show, yeah.
End of the show, end of the season. Because like Picard's the one that saved it. Like, again, I get the reasons why they called it Enterprise as... Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I agree with the reasons. I understand the reasons, but that feels like, and then you can have a joke where Jack's all like, "Well, thank God my last name's Crusher, otherwise no one's gonna treat me like anything on this ship." But the poster boy for nepotism or something like that. But yeah, So yeah, that's my answer. Like that's where I think Picard is. He's with Beverly on Earth.
So Laris got the Dear John letter.
She commutes. No, Laris' shuttle vanished under mysterious circumstances. He called up Garrick. He's like, hey, I need this person to never be part of my story again. No, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad Picard went through a whole season 2
Laris got vashed.
Getting over mother issues. Just
got vashed and just vanished into the stars on a shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
You know who Vosh had an adventure with?
Q.
Yeah.
Q.
All right. We've been talking a lot, so I don't know. This may be let's say this is going to be a future subject. Picard should have even happened. So we're not going to talk about that. The series. So we're going to put that out of your mind. So let's just talk this episode. So let's talk about the 2 things. Talk about the ship, Titan, and then talk about Q. All right. So, Darren, I think you said it well. I'll admit, because the way they did it seemed very obvious. End of Star Trek 4. So when they saw the Titan, it's like the fake out. Oh no, it's not the Titan. There's the ship that's behind it. Which I didn't. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it's just going to be the ship behind it, whatever it is. I don't know in my mind. The Enterprise F. I don't know. I wasn't really like whatever.
I mean, I was holding out disbelief just for the fact that he's like, oh, I just chose not to look at what ship I was assigned until I show up, and I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. Okay, I had to really crank the suspension of disbelief up a lot.
No, but he was lying in his defense. He and Beverly were lying to Jean-Luc. And so, and then I saw the G before I saw the NC 1701, and I'm like, oh. I guess I was confused. Not that it was like, this is cool or this is not cool. I was like, so did the F just get destroyed? What happened to the F?
They needed to lay more groundwork about the retiring of the F, like, or any groundwork about the retiring of the F.
I think there were a few tweets about it, you see. Well, we didn't actually see the F getting destroyed, but blah, 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 No.
Oh, I know. Like, if you freeze the row files, you'll see it says Enterprise F to be decommissioned. I'm like, okay.
Well, I was chatting with someone about it, and I had totally misremembered thinking that the Enterprise F coming out of the space dock for that was its, like, launch. And no, they're, like, in its final voyage act. And I'm like, I totally misremembered that, but still, it wasn't super clear.
So I guess we'll talk. This is the topic now. I guess this is my thoughts. One, I don't see why you even show the F. If we're going to see it for 2 seconds, and even if it doesn't get destroyed, its captain gets not murdered.
That's true.
Murdered.
Just make this the F.
Yeah, I mean, just it could have just been the Reliant F. You know, like there was no meaning to
this tiny little ship coming out of space dock. Like,
yeah, it still would have been cool to see Shelby. It doesn't matter if she's the I mean, it's connected. She wanted to be the captain of the Enterprise or the first officer. But like, it doesn't. There's no power to that. It's the Enterprise F. I mean, it's like, again, Tuvok could have been Captain Smith. That could have been USS Smith. Like, there was no like, oh, this is the Enterprise F. It's the new Enterprise. Now there would have been power if then the ship had been the Enterprise F. But like, just like 5 seconds of Enterprise F. Like, guys, we had more screen time with the Enterprise B than we did with the Enterprise F.
Or have a moment in the fight where, like, yeah, the Titan is fighting the fleet, but like it's really fighting the Enterprise F, which is leading, like, is the brain cell of that moment. And it has to like cripple it or do something or destroy it or, you know, because it's a year later still, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's 1 year later. We're doing our Star Trek Beyond or Star Trek Into Darkness ending 1 year later. So then to have I guess my additional challenge, whatever, they do whatever they want. The Titan A. And so like, it's odd to rename a ship that's already
they spent a lot of time communicating about the rebuilding of the Titan, and it was already kind of confusing enough. And then they doubled down. I mean, like, I don't know that.
But why? Like, we're discussing this. I just don't understand the reasoning at all. Anyways, like, even in story reason, why? What? It is a ship. It's a ship that has been doing shippy things. You know who's going to be really resentful? Are the crew of the Titan. They're probably not going to be super happy about this. But I just understand why. Why? What's the in-universe reason that we are doing this? They said it was okay. So like, now, of course, this wasn't the reason. But when they were when Beverly and Jack were explaining it to Jean-Luc, like, we wanted to keep this a surprise for you. Clearly, that's not the in-universe reason that they're doing this, right? No, that would make no sense. They're not in charge of this. Why?
In other words, if the implication is that Starfleet wanted to honor Picard, who, I mean, it was an ensemble effort, but we'll say it was he led the way. And we're going to honor Picard with a new ship by renaming it, or maybe Seven was the idea. But like, again, the Enterprise, we saw with the Enterprise D, like, and this is out of universe, but anyway, the Enterprise D was the fan Enterprise moment. Like, we don't need it. Well, I'm speaking for myself. I won't say us. My fandom is not a ship named Enterprise. Right. I mean, we've had Voyager. We've had Deep Space Nine. We've had Discovery. Not my favorite, but it's not tied to the name of the ship.
No, here, imagine this. Flip it around And okay, forget Picard or whatever. Like it's more. Seven is coming in to take command again, and she looks over at the dedication plaque again. I don't know why she wouldn't know it till this moment, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's the Voyager B or whatever, because of her great sacrifice, saving Earth as the last line of defense in the takeover of Starfleet and the Starfleet. Like, you could do that for the almost exact same reason that we're honoring the Enterprise D and the crew of the Enterprise. It makes about as much logical sense. So why not just do that? Or like, is there, what I'm trying to get at is there an emotional reason as a viewer to that versus the Enterprise? Like, I agree with you, Philip. I'm not, I love DS9. I love Voyage. I love all these shows. It doesn't have to be about the Enterprise. But so like, why not the Voyager? Or why not change it? Why not it make it be the Titan?
It earned its name.
Well, yeah, the Titan becomes a new lineage ship because it's already established that like ships getting the A is kind of a special thing. Like, it usually if a ship gets destroyed, another ship just gets named that, but the registry is updated and it doesn't matter. Usually the whole reason for the A, again, they've screwed with this in other times, but my understanding is the A means we keep the registry because that specific time that ship was the Enterprise or the Voyager or the whatever, like, in my mind, all ships that have letters never change the registry, which is why you add the letter, because it is honoring the original, that had no letter. So when the Yorktown or the Sutherland or whatever was destroyed before, they built another ship and reused the name because that's what you do, and that's totally fine. But getting the A designation is the honor. So Titan already has that because of whatever 5-year mission, stuff that happened. So now, it's already the A. So now here's a new generation of viewers are going to rally. Like, I love the Titan. I think it's an awesome design. The Neo Constitution 3 Mark 5 BJ stroke 6. Sorry. It grew on me. I really like the design. I think it's a cool ship. I love I'm sad. I'm reading the Enterprise log here on Memory Alpha, and it's like, it talks about laying the trap, and this is when it did this, and then it fought with the portals with Vatic, and it's like, I feel like, we're in the museum and the curator's like taking away all the signs that say Titan and putting up all the signs that say Enterprise G, as if that's the ship that did all this, which it wasn't. But
it just makes zero sense. It's like extra. Even in universe, it's like Picard gets all emotional, but Picard doesn't care about.
Well, we know out of universe why, right? I mean, I'm assuming out of universe the reason is we want to be able to say, and I'm not saying this is a bad reason. I'm just saying it's a reason. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to say Captain 7 of the Enterprise, and then that's a
dumb reason. That's just a dumb.
But it feels like that was the reason.
She also has no connection to the Enterprise. So
that's why I'm saying call it the Voyager B.
No, just call it the name it already has had for years now. Oh, it's just so silly. I just don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to sound stupid, but I just think it diminishes because now, how many Enterprises have I lived through? I mean, technically, I was alive when they invented the A, but I'm going to count that I wasn't because it was Star Trek, 4 and 5, which I was like 7 years old. But anyway, I went through the D, E, F just happened, and now G. 4 Enterprises in one lifetime. I mean, like if you
now it's starting to get crowded,
like ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, no, because someone pointed out, and I had to start thinking about it. So if we're just into 24.
Yeah, the J.
The J is coming up fast, guys. Like, we don't have a lot of letters left. So that means G.
The current one's G.
G. H. I. So we have 3 ships between, and it's like how many hundreds of years?
It's pretty far in the future.
Yeah. Like. So like those ships like they built them like to last, I guess, because I don't know.
In other words, they built an Enterprise, and this is fuzzy math. So like they built DEFG within 20 years. I think I'm right. I might be wrong, but within 20 years, there have been that many Enterprises. But for the next 3, it's going to be like 150 years, like we did with like the B&C.
Yeah, it's just a little weird.
Yeah, just an oversaturation.
I just don't get it. Just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Just
Enterprise
so
G.
I mean, the fact that we went from E to F to G within like what, 20 years?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh well.
Anyway, because I just like if they're and we've been going a long time, so we need to wrap up. But like if this are gonna be Star Trek Legacy new series with the Enterprise, and I'm like, but you don't need is the Enterprise what you need? Like
again, if
you
it
tried
had been
that with
the
Enterprise,
Titan,
it only went 4 seasons.
Like, do they really think? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, granted, we won't know until you know, but like, is it so much to think that Star Trek Legacy wouldn't survive if they were on the Titan versus Legacy on the Enterprise G?
It makes no sense.
I don't know.
Makes no sense.
They built a whole show about the Discovery. Yep. You know, they built a whole show about the Voyager. You know, I don't know what. I don't know.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with the last. Well, and again, we can talk in another episode. This may be a 2 or 3 parter, but let's just wrap up finally with after credits scene. Darren, what'd you think?
I mean, I'm glad Q's not dead. I like Q. It's cool seeing him again. I'm not surprised because anything can happen. If there was an after credit scene, I know this wasn't my idea. Someone tweeted about this, but I think it's a better idea. I think it would have been cool if Wesley showed up and met his brother. I think that would have been a really cool. Traveler Wesley pops in and, you know, gives him a little bit of a hint of like the mysteries that are out there or whatever. And like, you know, but I think that would have been.
Of course, you know who's traveling with Wesley now.
Oh,
who is it?
Name? Oh,
what's her name?
Oh, not Romulan Laris from Section 7.
No, not Daj.
Who's Daj?
Data's daughter, not daughter. Sing's daughter.
I've forgotten the other series
Season 2
already.
Oh my god!
And at the end of season 2, she walked away and met Wesley.
The one who couldn't go out in the sun?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I remember now. Yeah.
Because Q fixed it.
I don't forget about that. Yeah. Just Wesley shows up.
Yeah.
Traveler Wesley.
From season 2, that one?
Yeah. And then
speaking of season 2,
maybe Jack is like, you know, you should call mom every once in a while. Like she kind of misses you. But I think that would have been more interesting because Q is Picard's connection. You know, we're already on the next generation, but that's just
the last generation. All right, yeah. Daniel, what do you think of?
Just why? Just again, why do this? Listen, you wanted him dead. You killed him off. It was a send-off. There was no more Q. Bye, Q. Thanks for the things and all the adventures. It makes no sense. Like even from a fan servicey perspective, like I like Q, but I don't care about Q's relationship with Jack. Like I just don't care about that one little bit. I would not watch that at all. So I just don't get the reasoning here. Especially if old Q is going to be running around bothering Jack, like meat feels like he's picking on him. Anyways,
see, and this would have been and again, I'm not saying you even need the scene, but if you do, Q's son, like you have someone flash up, and then it's, oh, you probably know my dad. He certainly knew yours, and then if you're going to do that, you obviously don't have to do the Q thing, but and that way you do have a new generation. I mean, you're sort of repeating yourself, but yeah, I don't get why you do that unless the next day you announce Star Trek Legacy. I mean, like in other words, like it's like a bad. And I'm not saying this is a bad movie. It's like a bad movie that then like ends on like, all right, are you ready for the next adventure? Like you're not getting a sequel. I don't know why you're even thinking, But
he's clearly pushing like very hard for it.
Super Mario Brothers, the original. Like how it ends on like, all right, let's go on another adventure. Like, it's not happening. So I don't get the logic of like, because the beauty of TNG the series and now the original ending of Picard, is that it ends on a non-ending. They're playing poker, and things can still happen. And then you end on the ship, and things could still happen. But then, like, to end on, like, no, there's definitely a specific adventure that's going to happen. Okay, I look forward to that announcement.
That's true. It is an interesting ending in the fact that it's, like you said, it's a non-ending. It's, are you saying another show? And then they don't have an announcement like, hey, guess what? Legacy's coming. Like, why is that now a secret or not a thing? Like, okay, are we just teasing? Or I don't know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been talking a long time, so we'll just talk about this episode. So, Daniel, final thoughts on The Last Generation, including who is The Last Generation?
Oh, probably all the dead people, right? That one, that generation, the old people from all the ships.
I'm not uncomfortable with anyone over 25 being labeled old, but go ahead.
Well, it's fine. I think it'll be an interesting conversation to have after all these 3 seasons of Picard. Was it worth it? Did we really get much out of it or whatever? It's fine. It's over now. Of course, obviously they want to continue, but we'll see if anything comes out of it. But it's fine. It was fine. I like you probably would not rewatch, but it exists and it's fine. That's what I think.
Darren, the last word on The Last Generation.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, this is Star Trek Legacy right here. That was this show. Was Star Trek Legacy bringing back a lot of old characters while the actors are still around. I think if you want to do like a true Legacy where you're really showing anything and everybody, you got to go animated. You got to do a show like kind of like, but Lower Decks already kind of doing that, but still where, it doesn't matter if you're older or younger or whatever, you can animate them whatever era they want. I think that could be really interesting. But really, yeah, this was Legacy because the new stuff, that's like Strange New Worlds. New cast, new crew, new ship, off and about. I mean, I know it's
the
Enterprise.
New ship.
I know it's the Enterprise, but like it's I don't know what's going to happen.
The most powerful name of any ship.
Oh, not so power enough they give it an A afterwards. It's, it's got to keep going. So, yeah. So, but did I like the super nostalgia flow of the last couple episodes? Yeah, it was fun. Again, I'm kind of looking forward to switching back to other Trek topics rather than current Trek, because it's a lot more fun to talk about old Trek that we just enjoyed in general and find the quote Star Trek, talk about the things we love, not the things we hate.
The things we love to hate. So yeah, with The Last Generation, keep it on a positive ending. I mean, I thought, any like, oh God, this last episode, typical new Star Trek, they're gonna have to rush everything to get to their convoluted ending. But I thought The Last Generation did sort of stick the landing. I mean, as much as you could. That sounds like a complaint, but they did. I'm not going to qualify it. They did. They stuck the landing based on what they did for this season. And got to see the Enterprise D in action one more time, or at least the bridge. I did laugh when they left the bridge. I'm like, they're not going to show the transporter scene because they didn't build it.
No.
I mean, you should, but they didn't, and they won't. So anyway, but yeah, and so yeah, it wasn't a disaster. The last episode, they did what they had to do. They set up what they did. I'm not even going to talk about the Shaw scene because I'm going to roll my eyes and expletive. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, it was nice to see some Tuvok and brought back, which, would have been cool to see more. But Aaron, you said there are reasons why. So yeah, that's it. That's a wrap on Star Trek Picard. Coming up will be Strange New Worlds in a couple months. And after that, Lower Decks. And then the next year, we'll see the ending of Discovery. And then Sky's the Limit on an Academy series and a Section 31, which we didn't even talk about, because it's definitely going to happen, and everything else. So anyway, well, we look.
What did Seven say? What's her go phrase.
I don't know why it was such a miss. Like, to me, I don't get why it's such a miss. Because they already did that. The joke's already in Lower Decks. Because
they're also making the joke in.
Yeah, they did the joke in Stranger Worlds.
In Stranger Worlds as well. Yeah. So I'm like, this is so weird. Why do they keep doing this?
I honestly thought she was just going to say "do it" at the end. I was like, oh, she's going to do the Janeway. I mean, that's the power and that's the legacy. Yeah. She's going to say,
yeah, it's like it was interesting having just like the moment where we had. Jack say, because Jack said engaged. No, someone said engaged.
It suggested, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It feels like we're not going to have her say it because it's easier to not write something and then people might not like what we put. So we're just going to say nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay. You can take your ball and go home. That's fine.
So anyway, well, until next week, I'm Philip Gelfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And I'm the legacy. No, I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on New Trek on City Alpha 3.